It started with the sound no one forgets, the muffled, terrified sob of someone too scared to scream. It echoed off the cold, tiled walls of the high school girls' bathroom. The smell of bleach clung to the air, mixing with the faint metallic scent of fear. Emily Carter, the quiet girl who always sat in the back of class, clutching her books like a shield, was shoved through the doorway by two girls with smirks sharp enough to cut. Her long, chestnut hair fell in her face, hiding the tears brimming in her eyes. She didn't fight back, she never did. She just braced herself for whatever humiliation they had planned this time. But fate has strange timing. Just down the hall, in a meeting room separated only by a thick brick wall, an entirely different kind of drama was unfolding. A SWAT team was conducting a safety training session with school officials. Among them was Lieutenant Daniel Carter, Emily's father. His black tactical vest bore his name in bold letters, but few in the school knew that beneath the armor was a father who carried an unshakable guilt for never being able to protect his daughter from the cruelties of the world. He had taught her to ride a bike, to tie her shoes, to be gentle in a world that often wasn't, but he hadn't taught her how to fight back against this. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in standing up for those who can't stand for themselves, please take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Hope. These stories are here to remind the world that even the smallest acts of courage can change everything. Emily's tormentors pushed her into the corner, one holding her arms while the other reached into her bag, scattering books and papers across the wet floor. A harsh laugh rang out. Someone pulled out a marker. The plan was cruel, childish, but meant to leave her broken for the rest of the day. Emily's mind screamed for her to do something, anything, but years of being the invisible girl had taught her silence was safer than speaking. She closed her eyes, wishing she could vanish into the wall. In the meeting room, Daniel Carter's radio crackled with faint interference. At first, he ignored it, just another school sound filtering in, but then came a sharp, panicked voice from a teacher's walkie-talkie in the hallway, "I need help in the East Wing bathroom, now." His blood ran cold. The bathroom was in Emily's corridor. Daniel didn't hesitate. He didn't wait for protocol. The chairs scraped back, boots thundered against the floor, and the SWAT team moved as one. The polished hallway tiles reflected the blur of black uniforms, the glint of tactical gear. As they neared the bathroom, they heard it, the muffled sound of crying. Daniel's chest tightened. He had heard his daughter cry before, but this was different. This was fear. When the door swung open, time seemed to freeze. The bullies' laughter faltered, their marker-tipped hands pausing mid-air. The sight before them wasn't a teacher or hall monitor, it was 6 armored SWAT officers, and in front, a man whose brown eyes burned with a fury that could break steel. "Let her go," Daniel said, his voice low and calm in a way that made the air itself feel heavier. Emily looked up through tear-blurred vision, and for the first time in years, her father wasn't just her dad, he was a force of protection no one dared to challenge. One of the girls stammered, dropping the marker, her confidence draining away as the officers stepped forward. The principal arrived moments later, his face pale, his words sharp as he ordered the bullies to the office. Daniel didn't say anything at first. He just stepped toward his daughter, his hand steady as he helped her up from the floor. She clung to him, not just because he had rescued her, but because someone, finally, had seen her pain and stopped it. That moment changed everything. The incident sent shockwaves through the school. Students who had barely noticed Emily before now whispered about the day the quiet girl's dad showed up with an entire SWAT team. But the change wasn't in the whispers, it was in Emily. She started to walk a little straighter, her eyes meeting people's gazes instead of darting away. She began answering questions in class. She even joined the art club, her sketches slowly telling the story of a girl rediscovering her own voice. Daniel, too, changed. That day had shaken him, not because of the adrenaline, but because he realized how close he had come to missing it. He began making time to sit with Emily every evening, asking her about her day, learning to listen without rushing in to fix everything. She told him about the bullying she'd endured for years, the notes in her locker, the whispers in the cafeteria. He listened, his heart breaking a little with each story, but proud she was finally letting him in. Months later, Emily stood in front of her classmates during an assembly, telling her story, not the SWAT team part, but the part about courage, kindness, and speaking up. She was shaking, her voice wavering, but her words carried weight. Somewhere in the audience, her father sat with tears in his eyes, knowing that this was the real victory, not just saving her from one bad day, but helping her believe she was worth saving every day after. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Hope. Your engagement helps us share more true stories of bravery, compassion, and transformation. Special request: comment below with a time when someone stood up for you, or when you stood up for someone else. Your story might inspire someone who needs hope today. And so, the shy girl who once hid behind her hair now walked with her head held high, not because her father wore a badge, but because she had finally found the courage to wear her own armor, the kind made of self-worth, resilience, and the unshakable truth that she mattered.